lies the risk of diabetes.
I do too.
I used to sing it a lot.
This is Just Keep Breathing with your host, Richard Curtin
I love
of
that.
National Radio.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Just Keep Breathing. You're listening to RationalBroadcasting.com, Rational Radio, or possibly on Ustream. This is Just Keep Breathing. I'm your host, Richard Curtin, and my in-studio guest today, the one and only, the keeper of the jewels, the Dragon Lady, Bruce Horton. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing, Rick?
How was Black Tie?
Oh, I had a great time. You know, I'm a member of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, and I went dressed as a sister.
I saw, and there were a whole bunch of you.
Well, there were 7 of us.
7. I thought there were 9.
No, there were 7, but there were only there were 6 sisters and 1 guard.
What does a guard do?
Well, they're there to be security primarily. But, you know, I carry a taser with me. No one's going to screw with me. I didn't carry a taser there because I was safe there, but you don't want to be walking the streets and drug without
Especially as a nun.
Especially a nun. Who wants to screw with a nun? Well, there are
a male nun.
Well,
How did that come about? Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. What is the history of it? Do you know? Do you have to know all this?
I do.
To become a sister?
Yes,
Do you have to take a test?
No actual tests.
So what is the origin of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence?
A man by the name of Kenneth Bunch moved from Iowa in 1976 to San Francisco. And when he was in Iowa, they did a comedy routine. They did a gay version of The Sound of Music, and they went to the local convent, and they asked the sisters if they had any nuns' outfits, because they were going to do a production of Sound of Music. Well, of course, they didn't tell them they were going to do an all-male version. And I'd like to have seen what Liesel looked like. Anyway, and he brought those costumes from Iowa to San Francisco, and in Easter afternoon, 1979, they got dressed as 6 of them got dressed as nuns and went to Dolores Park, and they were a big hit. And they started doing it regularly. Now, Kenneth always did whiteface, but the rest of them didn't do makeup. They thought that was a little much. I don't know what that was about. And so, they decided, after a while, they decided to create an organization, and they tried to figure out what they should call it for. They wanted to base it off the Catholics. So, the Sisters of, like the Sisters of Charity. The
Sisters of Marguerite.
They went through a lot of names, and they finally came to the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Because
and the year again is
1979.
79, and so in 33 years,
yes,
it has grown to
40 chapters all over the world. 2 or 3 in Australia.
I saw 1 in Berlin. 1 Sister of Perpetual Indulgence in Berlin. 1. And it was the only time I saw anyone doing any kind of drag.
Well, there are 5 chapters in Germany. And there are 2 in England. And Paris. They're banned in Italy, but they do it anyway.
They're banned in Italy by the government?
Because of the Catholic Church there. Vatican.
Let's go to Germany.
There. Oh, I know.
I mean, let's go to Italy and dress as nuns.
Well, I'm going to Germany for Conclave in 2016. I'll be fully professed. I'll be fully professed next month.
In December.
In December.
So right now you're a novice.
I'm a novice.
And you start out.
You start out as an aspirant, which means 2 months of running around with the sisters out of habit, out of drag, and then you become elevated after that to postulant, and you're a postulant for 4 months, and you have to wear a white and gray veil, and a white blouse with one of those gray and white Catholic schoolgirl skirts with baby doll shoes.
And this is a requirement.
This is a requirement. You have
Okay.
you have to wear white face with upper eye makeup only and no lips, because the lips you have no say.
You can't talk.
You can't. Well, you can,
You can talk. You
talk.
just
can't talk about the history and how.
your talk doesn't matter.
Then my talk doesn't matter. And then after 4 months, you're elevated to being novice, and you have to wear a black A-line dress with a white bib. The white, we use a cowboy hat that has the hat part cut off, and then a white veil. It has to be a white hat and a white veil for 6 months, and you can wear any kind of makeup you want, any kind of shoes, but you have to wear the black. And I only have 1 more month to go. I'm going out tomorrow night. I'm going out tomorrow night with a bunch of sisters to Fort Worth to prowl and walk the streets
To prowl and walk the streets.
like common nuns.
And so then you become a full-fledged sister. And you told me once that the sisters have to approve your name.
Well, yes. Now, everybody loved my name. I had no problem with that.
And so now are you called Postulant Blanche Davidian?
No, I am novice.
Oh, novice.
Novice Sister Blanche Davidian.
Novice Sister Blanche Davidian.
It's a great name, isn't it?
It is.
Very
and,
Texas.
and so when you become
Fully professed, I'll be Sister Blanche
Sister
Davidian.
Blanche Davidian.
And I'll be able to wear the black hat with the black veil, or a green hat, or a polka dot hat, or any kind of veil, and I can wear any kind of outfit that I so choose, from the vulgar to the sublime.
And but there are certain requirements. You have to be in white face the entire time.
Yes.
And
And I can't go out alone. You have 2 professed nuns can tip out on the streets alone. But if you have a novice with you, I believe you have to have 2 with you. And I think there's a 3-nun rule in certain areas, but I have to look that up.
so this comes with a handbook and everything.
Well, not really a handbook. It's a PDF.
So you could make it a handbook.
We could make it a handbook.
What has been your favorite experience so far? And you can't talk about the barbecue. We're going to talk about that at length.
Oh, the barbecue. Okay. Well, 28 years ago, here in Dallas, I received a phone call from a friend of mine from San Francisco who's no longer alive. He died of HIV. And he said, "Do you know who the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are?" I said, "Hell yes, I know who they are." This is 1984. This is in July 1984. He said, "Well, they're coming from San Francisco to Dallas to protest the National Republican Convention, and will you host them?" And I said, "Well, they can't stay at my house because, anyway, I don't have the room." They said, "Well, no, just meet them and run around with them and all that." I said, "Sure." So they arrived, and I didn't meet them at the plane, but I heard they got off the plane in full nun habit. That's when you could travel in costume. You can't travel in costume anymore. They don't let you.
They don't let you really?
No, on a TSA, absolutely not.
Oh.
You have to look like the way you do on your ID.
On your ID?
Mhm.
What if
'Cause,
you're a tranny?
Tasha, well, yeah, but you have to. It has to have a picture of you as a tranny.
Can you get into costume on the plane?
I don't know if they'd let you or not.
Yeah.
I guess you could put your makeup on.
Oh,
in your
that's
seat.
what I was thinking. All that
Yeah.
powder flying around.
Everywhere it'd be like smoking. Wouldn't it? Anyway, they came, and the founder came, and her name, the one who came from Iowa with the costumes, her name is Sister Vicious Power Hungry Bitch.
From the powerful bitch family.
Oh yeah, I guess so. And she's still alive, and she is the head of the. They call her grandmama.
Grandmama, and she is Sister
Vicious
Power
Hungry Bitch. And she is
That's
she
kinda
is
funny.
a delight to be around.
How old is she now?
60.
105?
Mid-60s, I guess. And,
So a little younger than you.
yeah, a little younger. She's mid-60s and I'm 58.
Wow. So, 28 years ago, he was here.
He was here.
So he's been doing this for a minimum of probably 28 years. Maybe 30.
33 years.
33 years.
And he's seen it grow. Well, in the beginning, it was just for fun. But HIV struck in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And people started losing their jobs. And they needed to start raising money to pay for doctors and rents and protest. They used to protest Jerry Falwell. They had an exorcism in 1984 of Jerry Falwell in Union Square, which was infamous. There's pictures and videos of it existing,
I think I've seen a video of that.
One of my favorite things ever there was it's a video. I don't know how it was filmed, but it was a video of a Christian woman holding a Bible, telling the sister, "I'm going to heaven and you're going to hell," and shaking this Bible at him in drag as a sister. And he turned and said, looked down and said, "God's not letting you go anywhere in those shoes." Which is a fact. And it's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah, it is very funny.
And he was probably right. Recently, you held, is it a requirement
Yes.
for a postulant to throw a fundraiser?
Novice.
A novice. I'm sorry, I keep on calling you a
Yeah, I'm not a
postulant.
postulant anymore.
You have been
I
elevated.
like the word postulant better. I think it's more apropos, but that's not official, of course.
So as a novice, you are required to throw a fundraiser. Your
Well,
nails are pink.
They are pink. Are they very tranny to you?
They're baby doll pink.
They're baby doll pink. They're gel.
They are gay.
They are, well, hello,
They're very pretty.
hello. They are very pretty.
Yeah, your nails are very pretty.
They're supposed to last for like 2 weeks.
Really?
2-3 weeks without chipping.
Is that something new?
The gel, yes.
I don't put anything on my nails except my teeth.
Oh. And they're so pretty, all bitten off. And,
Actually, I don't really bite them,
well,
but
you could use them. Look at those cuticles. You need some work, honey.
yeah, they're just dry
I know.
because I wash them so much.
I know. I do too.
So, as a novice, you're required to put on a fundraiser,
You have to do something. You can either do a fundraiser, or you can do something that benefits the community or the house, the order. In my case, I did Blanche Davidian, novice sister Blanche Davidian's government conspiracy barbecue and tea dance.
and tea dance.
Which I put tea dance because it made it more funny.
Yeah,
It's funny.
and it made it longer.
It made it longer. And we had a barbecue.
And all the interviews that I conducted, I got it wrong, because I would say Blanche Davidian. I didn't say novice sister. I said Blanche Davidian's government conspiracy tea dance and barbecue.
Well, it could have been.
No, it was the other way around.
It's the other way around.
It
Well,
was.
It could have been that way, but anyway.
And so Paul Kraft.
Paul Kraft.
It was all on the day of Madonna.
Yes.
And
She canceled.
Saturday of Madonna, and she canceled.
Yeah.
You had Paul Kraft as the DJ,
In the afternoon.
and you had Dementia from Louisville, Kentucky, myself, Edna Jean Robinson, and Raja performed.
Raja Gemini.
Raja
Who
Gemini,
won RuPaul's Drag Race last year.
season 4.
Season 4.
And
is a
Jenny P.
Jenny P. And
hosted.
they're all clients of mine. And
And it was really a fun little show.
it was great. You were fabulous.
Thank you.
Everybody said, "I've never seen Elizabeth. She's beautiful." And I said, "Well, she doesn't do that very often." And I said, "She was really on is Rotted Jean. It was the best performance I've seen you do in years.
Really?
It was fabulous. It was right on, and they really got a rare performance out of you.
And
you showed it too.
And it was, in the theme of Blanche Davidian, and it was really
You were all burned up.
and people really got it.
Oh yeah, and they did.
Well, your people got it.
Yeah, my people got it. Everybody, the turnout didn't turn out the way I really wanted it, but my house was extremely happy with the outcome. We raised about $1,000.
I thought it was a really good day, and I think it helped that Madonna canceled.
Oh yeah. Well, there were a lot of people who came out to see Raja
Yeah.
that I've never met or seen, but it was a big draw. And Raja is so much fun, and because it was a benefit, I paid for her flight, her hotel room, and I gave her a $2,000 set of jewelry.
And it was stunning.
Oh yeah, so she's already been getting lots of feedback from all over. She went to Shanghai and Hong Kong. And
they
said
drooled.
They drooled. They'd never seen anything like it before.
It was stunning, and she wore it the night of the show.
Oh yeah, and it looked like it was made of electric fire.
It was gorgeous.
It was clean.
Yeah.
Most drag queens don't clean their jewelry.
I have to say I'm probably one of them, but I also don't destroy mine like everybody else does.
Like Val.
Oh my God, Valerie doesn't destroy it; it just turns to dust in her hands.
She doesn't listen to this program, does she?
Probably not.
No, probably.
She's been on it, but it does. Things just explode in her hands.
Yeah, well, I don't loan her anything.
So, let's talk about the election.
Ooh, fun. Do you know, here's another example of complete delusional thinking. The first time around, 2004, right? No.
2008.
2008. The GOP and the Republicans thought for absolutely positively sure that nobody in their right mind would ever vote for a black man under any circumstance whatsoever. And when Barack Obama won by a lot,
yes,
they were in complete and total shock. And they decided to set the path of revenge and make him a one-term president. So Congress, controlled by the Republicans, decided they were going to do no help whatsoever and try to keep his economy as bad as possible, knowing that the people would rise up against this black man and throw him and his ass out of office. And they were absolutely, positively sure that they had it in the bag. They thought this was going to be an easy push. And come Tuesday night, and he wins by not a landslide, but 2 million people's not bad.
I think it was kind of a mandate, though.
Yeah,
especially if you look at just the Electoral College.
No, if you look at the Electoral College, it was a landslide.
It was a landslide mandate.
Have you seen the map of
yes.
the United States according to population and votes?
Yes.
The red is sort of small, and the blue is all the West Coast, East Coast, and
in Florida.
And Florida has more voting.
However, that big red area right there in the middle in the South.
Yeah.
I recently saw a comparison between all of that red and slavery and other elements of oppression. And
yes.
It's always the same area. And
it's funny
it's
now.
Very telling.
Now that he's won, Congress has pretended that none of that happened in the last 4 years. They're like,
of course.
Now they're going to compromise.
Well, this is what I'm telling people, and I worked last night in the Rose Room, and there was a guy there in the Rose Room who said he voted for Mitt Romney, and straight man, cute.
Stupid.
And what I said to him was, well, it's really just, it's time to listen to the people because they have spoken. And those people are no longer white. They're not white, and they're not male.
Right.
The people that went out and voted and said, I want Barack Obama to lead, are Asian, and they're Hispanic, and they're white, and they're female, and they're gay, and they're straight. And in the speech...
And poor.
And I believe some are rich.
Yeah, some are rich. There are a lot of rich gay people out there.
Yes.
And welcome to Dallas.
In his acceptance speech, he acknowledged the people that went out and voted, and the people of the United States that said, we are all going to come together and vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
The people that voted for Mitt Romney are white men.
Yeah.
So,
it's also helpful that those Republican idiots that got thrown out, those 6 Republican idiots that got thrown out for their incredibly stupid sayings about women and the abortion and all of that. You know, how stupid can white men be? White straight men.
Well, the deal is they're on the wrong side of history.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the tide is really moving toward a little bit more of a moderate thinking.
Yeah. Well, I think what will happen is that they're not going to change. The Republicans aren't going to change. They're going to repackage themselves, and in 4 years, another Democrat will win.
Do you think Hillary will run?
No, she's going to be 70.
She'll be 70 in 4 years.
Isn't that a little old? How about there's just too many rising stars, like the current mayor of San Antonio. What's his name? Caesar?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's Hispanic.
Yeah, he's Hispanic, and with the Hispanic vote, are you kidding? The Hispanic vote, he's going to become governor.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
They'll come out in the millions to vote.
Well, what I told this man, it's just really time. It's really time for all of y'all that aren't on board to get on board, and to say, I am not going to be a part of wanting you and him to fail. Because I think that's what the last 4 years was about. It was a want him to fail. And so now it's time for all of us to just get on board to say, it can't fail, we're not going to make it fail, and we're going to be a part of the success. And so what I encouraged him to do was to get on board. Because wanting it to fail is only wanting yourself to have failure. And so,
you know, in Dallas County, the Republicans run
the only blue spot on.
Oh, the only
blue spot.
We vote Democratic, and the good old boys. I'm sorry, they can't have it back. We're getting more. Dallas is getting more and more Democratic. And anybody who runs it, when I voted, I didn't vote for any Republicans. If there was a Republican running against a Libertarian, I voted for the Libertarian.
I'm going to tell you, I did the same thing.
Did you? Yes.
I was also told that if you voted straight Democratic Party,
yes,
that your votes weren't going to count. And I said that's not true.
No.
That's not true. It's not the way
I felt my conscience.
That's not the way it works. But
I vote Libertarian.
But when I grabbed a paper, because I didn't do electronic this time. I don't know why. Yeah. But I did a paper this time because I thought that this vote was really important.
I think so too.
And I was really, really worried that Mitt Romney was going to win.
No, I knew he wouldn't. I knew he wasn't going to win.
I knew he wasn't going to win either. And I've known it for a really long time.
Yeah, I've known
But-
for 2 years he had no chance, no matter who they ran. But you know, he wasn't a conservative. Mitt Romney was a moderate in conservative clothing, and everybody knew that. And he was a flip-flopper.
And see, and I think that's really the problem, is that no one really knew what he was doing or what he
If the
wanted.
Republicans had run a real super hardcore conservative, he would have lost. The landslide would have been in the 70 or 80%,
Like Michelle Bachmann.
like Michelle Bachmann.
But, you know, Michelle Bachmann got reelected.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, she's only as stupid as her constituents.
But she still got reelected.
Yes, well, you know.
And you know what's really...
You know, every court needs a class clown and a court jester. And guess what? She gets to be that.
Both.
Both. And the Tea Party. You know, the Tea Party in the beginning made really a lot of sense, but they took on those stupid... There really are... The Tea Party, in the strict sense of the term, of libertarians, but they decided that they wanted to get into social stuff like return the Constitution. I don't understand. Return the Constitution to what?
Yeah.
You mean like get rid of the 14th Amendment and get rid of the 19th Amendment so women can't vote? Hey, I'm sort of for that. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I have argued this with Michelle Hart, that I think one of the problems with the tea baggers is I believe that somehow it is steeped in religion.
Yes.
And it is steeped in a hardcore Christianity.
And that all needs to be tossed.
And, I mean, Michelle Bachmann said that she ran for president because God spoke to her.
Well, God didn't want her to win.
And God sends her messages.
Oh, yeah. I think...
And God did not want her to
I think, yeah, God did not want her to win.
Yeah.
You know? The Christians always talk about God's will and how God wants Mitt Romney to win. Well, God does not want Mitt Romney to become president of the United States.
Yeah, if he did, he would be.
Won.
Yeah, he would have won.
Things are the way they're supposed to be, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Or they wouldn't be.
I had a bet that Barack Obama would win, and I did win. But I'm going to tell you, on the last week, I was starting to get really nervous.
I wasn't nervous at all.
And this is what was said to me that really struck home with me. I was worried that the people who wanted him out of office were going to go to the polls in larger numbers than the people that wanted to keep him in. And that's what worried me. That was said to me, and it really struck home because Mitt Romney was all the wrong things. He was a Mormon, and I think a religion that's a little misunderstood.
The fundamentalists finally took Mormons off the banned, not Christian list, but I bet they sneak them back on after he's not here.
And I can't figure out, and I can't find out about this alien Kyoto or Cuomo, or that, apparently is got some sort of basis in the Mormon religion. There's, some alien involved.
Is there an alien?
Yeah, there's some sort of alien involved, and I can't get all the information about it.
I think Joseph Smith was bipolar.
Is it Joseph or John?
No, Joseph.
I think it's John Smith.
John Smith.
Yeah, bipolar.
I think he was bipolar.
I think he was crazy.
Yeah, bipolar. Bipolar. They've been around for centuries.
Yeah.
I think maybe John of Tarsus was bipolar. Thought up revelations. Only crazy people do stuff like that. You know, there are a lot of crazy people in religion.
And I read that that article you posted on Facebook. Good Lord.
About
about
religiously insanity.
Yes,
the
insane, and how many of them are really insane because of religion.
Oh, yeah,
it's almost
absolutely.
like religion drove people insane.
No, religion will drive you. I think that's the problem. I'm not anti-Christianity. I'm anti-Christian church. You know? It's crazy people. Oh, I just love the fact that the pastor of the First Baptist Church said that a president could not be elected without the evangelical vote in the United States. Well, hello. You know, 30% of evangelicals voted for Barack Obama. Did you know that?
Well, if you look at really just the statistics on who voted,
Yeah.
it was like 75% of all Hispanics voted for
Yes.
voted for Barack Obama, and I would imagine that of that 75%, probably close to 100% of them were Catholic.
Yes. If there was a state religion in the United States, it wouldn't be Protestantism, it would be Catholicism. There are more Catholics in the United States than any other religion, period. I'm sure the Protestants would love that. And,
Wow, even Baptist.
well, yeah, Baptist is Protestantism.
Yeah.
And the only reason, well, I'm not going to go there. It's so controversial. Let's not go there.
That's funny.
Yeah, I could get into a lot of trouble with what I was about to say.
I hear it. Let's get into trouble. I'm playing. So, have you looked at any of the numbers and have seen how the GOP is really kind of, calling it a squeak? That Barack Obama really kind of squeaked it by, and
Well, that's what they'd like to think.
sure. But
Yeah.
I think it was a mandate. I really do.
It could be a mandate, absolutely.
Um,
The fact is, he won.
yeah.
Now, it was half and half, but it doesn't matter who the popular vote was. I actually wish the popular vote had gone to Romney, so the Republicans would have done what the Democrats did when Al Gore didn't win, like go insane and say we need to get rid of the Electoral College. I would love to have seen them have the meltdown. They had enough. Karl Rove had a meltdown. So did old Mr. Toupee himself.
Yeah. He really did too. Both of them really. Donald Trump.
Limbaugh's had a. I heard he started taking drugs again.
Good. Well, I'm sure he's been stealing them, and hoarding them somewhere from his parent, from his
Wherever.
He probably goes to a nursing home. I'm doing volunteer work.
Yeah.
Give me your pills.
Yeah. 5 for me, 1 for you.
And so, what do you think about all of that Donald Trump craziness?
He's crazy.
It just seemed like such
You
a
know, he
spoiled,
resigned
rotten
from the
brat
Republic-
stomping his
resigned
foot.
He resigned from the Republicans so he could become independent, so he could rail against the Democrats. Because he's crazy. That's a problem with really wealthy people sometimes.
They get into this bubble that
They believe that what they think is really what should happen. It both sides, crazy people. We have to live together. It's nice to see the Republicans stew, though.
It is.
And the funny thing is, where was George Bush in all of this?
Well,
Wasn't mentioned at all. They totally ignored him like he didn't even exist.
That's probably good, though. Don't you think that was a good strategy?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Someone just recently asked me.
Why did they even elect him for his second term if they were going to totally ignore him for the last 4 years?
He was a puppet, and so now really he is on a shelf.
Yeah.
Because
he was in the Cayman Islands.
Because the puppeteering can't be, you know.
Well, it was Dick Cheney who was the president.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Georgie was just a puppet. Hi, I'm George Bush.
Someone recently asked me who was the worst president of all time.
Well,
And I said, well, it's really kind of hard for me to answer all time.
the Republicans say the worst president of all time was Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, but Jimmy Carter is probably the best man that was ever president.
Oh yeah, most reality moral. He doesn't care whether you're gay or not.
I shook his hand once.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like 12 or 13.
Oh, I hope you washed it.
And then and I just was like, I can't answer that. I mean, would it be LBJ?
Well, he was probably one of the most corrupt presidents we've ever had. When he was senator from Texas, stolen ballot boxes. Everybody knew he stole ballot boxes. In the most Republican area of Texas, he had ballot boxes. They never found them. They just disappeared from the road. Because he knew without them, he wouldn't be elected to senator. He had to become senator. And also, they say that he had a hand in JFK's death. But we'll never know any of that.
Yeah.
Well, we might. Once the Warren, they put the Warren Commission under lock and key for 75 years until everybody who had anything to do with it is dead.
Dead.
Then it won't much matter.
Who was the best president of all time?
Well,
That's another thing they asked, and I was like, it's kind of not fair.
it's not fair.
I mean, I can't really answer it.
Abraham had problems. Abraham Lincoln had problems. Probably Abraham Lincoln. Probably George Washington. He believed when his term was up, he wasn't going to go. He said it's time for someone else. He believed in Cincinnatus, where he was only elected because the people wanted him to, not because what he wanted. And but that's totally changed.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Would JFK have gone down as a great president if he had not been assassinated?
Yes, I think so. I think he was good. I think the closest we ever got to nuclear war was the blockade, when they found nuclear missiles in Cuba. We came within 20 minutes of all-out nuclear war. But Khrushchev backed down. But if Khrushchev hadn't, we wouldn't be having our conversation.
Yeah, it would have been a totally different place.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in the process of all of this, did you go through any of this Facebook blocking and people? Are you blocking people as friends or removing them as friends? Did you have all of this drama on Facebook that so many other people had?
Not because of the election. Because of some of the pictures I post.
Oh, like you and the ladies and the sisters?
No. I can't say the word, but it's Jesus effing Christ. And it's a picture of Jesus effing Christ in the butt picture. And someone on my Facebook complained, and they said Facebook blocked me for 24 hours from posting anything because of that. And they told me that if I posted anything again, they would block me for a month.
Huh.
And I went on a
I'm a little confused.
I went on a tirade
When did this happen?
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
How did I miss all
I
this?
don't know.
I was fighting with Michelle Hart.
Yeah, screw her.
So,
Oh, and by the way, Michelle, I blocked you off of Facebook so you can go to hell. So when you see me in person, you can just ignore me.
and you know what? In defense of Michelle,
Oh no.
I applaud her really
Do you?
for being so convicted.
Do you know what the Republicans would do to her? They would eat her up and throw her away in a gutter somewhere.
That's what's so confusing to me and to a lot of people that know Michelle.
Yeah.
Is I believe that Michelle thinks that the Republican Party welcomes her and celebrates her,
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
and
Michelle, go to the next Republican gathering and see them forcibly throwing you out onto the street.
and I don't want that to happen to her. I really don't. But it surprises me.
They would see her just as a drag queen.
Yeah, they wouldn't even see her as a woman, really.
No.
But and that's what's so upsetting about it is a lot of us, including you probably, if she wants to be a
She's
woman,
listen-
then
you-
be a woman,
You know
and we'll
she's
call you a
You
woman.
know she's listening right now.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Um.
And I like Michelle, but I just hate those. I hate her fascist politics.
Me too.
I
do
think
too.
she'd like to be a libertarian, but she has too much of that Christian Republican BS.
Well, I think she's sort of brainwashed into thinking that it's all about the Constitution and keep the government out of my house or
Yeah,
keep the
well,
government out of my life.
I wish they would.
But yeah, me too. We all want that, but we know that that's not true.
That's not possible.
Because when you say keep the government out of my life, but they still want to prevent us from getting married, and that is government.
Right.
And they still want to prevent a woman to choose, which is government.
Right.
And so,
And if we didn't live in a social, I love this. There was a place in Texas, one of the counties in Texas, where you could opt out of any city taxes, right? And so this man opted out of city taxes somewhere in West Texas, and his house caught on fire, and and the fire department didn't come. Burned to the ground.
I wonder what happened.
Well, he tried
Was
to
it an
sue.
electrical fire?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Burned to the ground, and he complained. They said, well, you opted out of city taxes. I mean, if someone had been murdered, the police wouldn't have come either.
Yeah,
They just, you bury your own body.
yeah.
Yeah,
Coroner for what?
yeah. We have socialism here.
Yeah,
we
you
have
don't
the
pay any
police
taxes.
and fire department and protection agencies to make sure that we are, and trash removal. If we didn't have socialism, God, it would pile up. Can you imagine Highland Park with the trash piled high?
Yeah, because no one would remove it.
My school taxes are $1,700 a year, and I don't even have children.
I don't even want to tell you what mine are.
Well, I don't care, but
Mine are ridiculous.
oh, I'm sure they are.
And you know what? I gladly pay it because I want those children to be educated.
Oh yeah, but they
And-
don't want to educate them the way we want them educated. They want Christian-based education,
Right.
and I don't want Christian-based education.
I don't either.
I want humanistic-based education.
Well, I want the children to be educated.
Oh yes.
I don't want them
I
to
want
be
them
brainwashed.
Right. I want them to know what the capital of America is. There are a lot of people who think New York is the capital of the United States. You know that Jay Leno show? Or the Jay Leno show? And they have
Yes, and they have on the street questions.
All the street questions.
I love stuff like that.
I love that, but it really scares me that there's so many idiots out there.
There used to be a game show that was called Street Smarts, And I used to love this show. They had a panel of 3 people, and then they had video of one person answering all kinds of questions. And the person in the studio teamed with one of the video people answering questions. And they asked him questions like, who is the Vice President of the United States? What street does the White House reside on? And so you start banking on these idiots and start wagering whether or not they're going to get the questions right.
Well, you know, I think.
And it was amazing
Oh yeah.
how many people got them wrong.
Well, I think it should be required that every student in the United States in high school have to take the citizenship test. You know?
Yeah.
Because there are even answers on there that I don't know. And I know a great deal because I'm pretty smart. I have friends of mine who call me brilliant.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How stupid are they?
I like smartass better. I was trying to figure out how I could call you C-U-N-T without saying it.
Oh, I like smartass. I am that too.
Someone recently asked me what GOP stood for.
Really?
Yeah.
Grand old
Grand
party.
Party.
Grand old party.
and it was really, really hard for me not wanting, because I wanted to say grand old poopah.
Yeah.
The grand old poopah. Do you think that the next 4 years will be different? Do you think that
You know what
that
I really
people are going to get on board to help, or do you think that people are really, the people that want to see him fail will allow it to fail?
No, because he can't be reelected.
Yeah.
His term is over.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants. I think we're going to, you know, they've never fixed the banking industry. The banking industry, you know, the Volcker rule. Well, they said that you couldn't gamble with your investors' money. Well, they have watered it down to such an extent that the minimum that you have to report it as is $80 million. And most of it's under that. And we're going to have another financial recession. And this next one's going to be worse than the one in 2008. And at least that's what I think is going to happen. But this time, if it happens, it's not the banks they're going to blame, because they got away with blaming the banks. But in reality, it was they need to go back to the Steel-Glass Act from 1933, if you could look it up.
And what is that act?
Well, that's
Tell me what the name of it again is.
Steel-Glass Act.
The
Steel-Glass
Act.
1933. They made it where they broke everything apart. Investment banking was separate from mortgages, separate from banking. There's a whole lot of things you can do. In 1999, they deregulated it, which is a direct result. The collapse was a direct result.
Yeah, almost a decade later.
9 years it took for the banks to screw themselves into the wall. And then they got bailed out by the government. That's one of the reasons we're in here. Because I don't believe in too big to fail. And the next time they will fail, because we're broke.
I don't believe in too big to fail either. And at some point, I think that if it's failing, it really should fail.
Yeah.
I read a report yesterday that someone projected $2,600 in gold for per ounce
It's possible.
by the end of 2015.
Well, it's possible. I do believe that we're going to go through hyperinflation. You know, I don't know.
And if we go into hyperinflation, gold will again double.
Oh yeah, triple.
And so that would be 3,400
Yeah.
in minimum. I mean,
Minimum.
we're at 1730 today.
Where a dollar's worth nothing.
Yeah.
Brazil, 1970. 75 is when nothing was, everything just worth nothing.
Well,
And the problem, of course, is that I wish China and Brazil and everybody would stop buying America's debt. We would go down the tubes almost instantly. They're buying our debt. I don't know how many trillions of dollars China has our debt. But if they wanted to reel it in, we couldn't pay them. And we don't have any gold left. Fort Knox is empty. We got rid of it all.
but we are still the third largest controller, if you will. We have the third largest
Economy.
we have the third largest holding of gold as well, physical gold.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, you're
Well, the
absolutely
people who
right.
work at Fort Knox or civilians said they've only seen one vault. They say that the people at Fort Knox say that all those vaults are full of gold, but they've only seen one vault, which is a small vault, and that's the one they show. I think the rest of them are empty.
No one's ever seen them.
No one who works there as a
A
civilian,
civilian has seen
has
them.
seen them. I think they're all empty. They got rid of them all.
We should send in Anderson Cooper to prove it.
Well, no one will let you in. They'd shoot him if they got on property. There's snipers there.
Let's send in Katie Couric then.
Well, okay. Mitt, we have a job for you.
What do you think Mitt Romney's going to go do now?
Well, he's worth $250 million.
What does he have to do, right?
Nothing.
Um,
He's not going to do anything. They say, oh, he's going to roll in the government. No, he has no role in the government. He committed the unforgivable sin of not winning the presidency. And the Republicans are going to sweep him right under the rug. Just like George Bush. They swept him under the rug.
yeah. What about Paul Ryan? He got
He
reelected.
got reelected.
He did get reelected, so
Too young.
we'll see him
He
again.
was
Yeah,
way too young to
Yeah.
become president.
yeah.
He
40,
You have to be 40 to, I think, run for
42. And how old is he?
42.
42. So he was.
41.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's way too young. And he's an idiot. He's really cute.
Well, I think he's just part of that whole white elitism,
Oh, yeah.
that white male elitism.
Right.
That I think the new generation of America is saying we don't want to be a part of, because we're not white.
Everything's moving
We're-
towards the minorities.
yeah.
The Republicans are going to have to radically change. You know, they're going to have to jettison those crazy fundamentalist Christians. The Christians need their own party. You know, the Christian White Party or the Christian Coalition, where they can talk all they want, but we know now they can't elect a president by themselves.
Yeah.
We know that for a fact. Even if they had the 30 extra percent that voted, that wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah, it wouldn't have
It
been.
wouldn't have been. So we know now the Christians are completely a non-event. And the minorities are taking over. Oh, it's almost time, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Too bad. We should have a 2-hour show.
You know, when we talk about doing it 2 hours, and sometimes the show right after us is unpredictable.
Really?
You've been listening to Rational Broadcasting. I am Richard Curtin, and you've been listening to Just Keep Breathing. My in-studio guest today, the one and only, my good girlfriend, Dragon Lady, Bruce Horton. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, I've had a great time.
We look forward to seeing you as Sister
Now, and Michelle,
Blanche
please
Davidian.
don't hit me when you see me in person.
Have a great afternoon.
Bye.